So, hi, it's me, Camila Rose. Welcome back to another video. All right, we are doing our TBR for the month of October. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, it's spooky season, girl. Where are your spooky books? They're not really here. I'm going to be honest with y'all. But I have been reading more thrillers and things of that nature. And so I'm trying, okay? I'm trying, y'all. But I am reading because I picked this up last month, I think it was, because of all the adaptations and the remakes coming out. So I was like, I want to read Dracula and Frankenstein. I think I read Frankenstein before. I don't think I've read Dracula. So I was like, well, I'm going to pick it up and read it. And I found this really pretty Classics of Horror. And it has Dracula and Frankenstein inside of it. And as you can already see, I'm recording this on October 10th. So I'm making my way through the book. I'm not going to explain what this book is about because I feel like everybody knows what Dracula and Frankenstein is about. Dracula is about vampires and Frankenstein is about a creature that was made, or a monster that was made from body parts of other people. So that is my TBR. Those will get done. That's going to get done this month. Am I going to finish this book? This is My Grandmother's Hands by Resmaa Menakem, I think his name is. I don't know, because this book is very intense and it's very deep and the subject matter is heavy. And so I don't know if I'm going to finish this month. I think I actually started this book in September and I'm only on chapter 3. So we're going to have to see. I'm going to give it my best shot. But it is a struggle for me to read through this one. So, but it is on the TBR for October. Then we have, now this one I'm going to actually make an effort to get through. This is The Myth of the Goddess, Evolution of an Image by Anne Baring and Jules Cashford. This is not my book. My friend Vanna let me borrow this because she knows that I'm working on a novel about Venus and that features really heavily Inanna, and so there's a lot of work in here that talks about Venus, talks about the moon, astrology, but it's from an art perspective, and I'm really, really excited to be able to read through this. I am in the chapter about Inanna Ishtar, so this features not only Inanna, it follows a historical review of art and specifically looking at figurines and things of that nature that were found in Western Europe and then tracing that back across time. So it features Crete, Inanna Ishtar, Isis of Egypt. We look at Gaia, Hera, Artemis, Athena. We look at goddesses of Rome. We look at Aphrodite, Demeter, and Persephone. So I'm really excited about this. And she also goes into the system kind of started to change and there was more prominent usage of masculine male gods and monotheism. And then we look at the hidden goddess in the Old Testament, which is going to end up being Sophia. And then we get into Eve. And then she's looking at Mary as the mother of Jesus, not necessarily Mary Magdalene. This one I feel like I can actually get through because it's entertaining and interesting and I'm using it for my work that I'm doing. Then we have, if I can get through the fiction books, if I can get through Frankenstein and I can get through Dracula, which to be very honest with you, I might just go read this one tonight and go knock it out because I think I could. It's Patricia McKissack. This is The Dark 30, Southern Tales of Supernatural. This is I believe, middle grade book. And it's about Black folks and supernatural. And it's kind of been, I think it's in the horror category, maybe thriller, but I think it sounds really interesting. And it's not super long. It's 150, maybe 60 pages, but it's got really big text. And so I think I might just read a couple of these a day. I definitely think I can get through this book this month. And then this one is really like, if I just have time and I feel like it, maybe reading a couple of the essays out of this. This is Monster Theory edited by Jerome Cohen. And this one has a lot of different academic articles and essays about the idea of monsters, monster culture, is a theory on the monstrosity and what that means in our culture and in the world. So it talks about kind of why we have come up with monsters, why we use them, why they're referenced in literature and in the arts and in culture. And so I'm very excited to read through this one, especially as we have so many movies and text and things like that that are talking about monsters. I just think it's a really fun reference to have under my belt. So those are all the like physical books. Now, you all know I have my Kindle and I do my Kindle Unlimited and I read through it. But let me tell you, I've already finished these books, so they're technically not on my TBR, but I'm probably going to be reading more books like them. I read I Am Legend and I have read Hell House, both by Richard Matheson. And then I'm currently working on Mary, An Awakening of Terror. I've just been reading more like horror books. I borrowed The Exorcist. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read that. One, it was very long and it was a little boring. But two, it was also like, I was afraid. I was scared. And I do a lot of reading at night, especially on my Kindle, like right before I go to bed. So I can't read anything that's super scary. I ended up randomly finishing Hell House while I was on my long walk this morning because I was just like, I need to get this done. Oh my goodness. And look, there's like, the people continue the story of Hell House. Oh, I'm going to be reading this. It's not by, but this is interesting because it's not by the original author. So I'm going to check that out. I'm very excited. Seeing that there's so many of the books that he wrote that were books that were turned into movies is fascinating to me. And I have really gotten into reading the books that movies are based on. And if you go back at some of my other videos, you'll see that I featured a lot of books that were like book to movie adaptations and doing comparisons because I just think it's fun. So those are my TBR for the month of October so far. Honestly, what actually gets read will probably be a surprise, especially for the Kindle Unlimited, because as I said, those two books that I just finished were nowhere. I had no intention of reading those. So I will probably pick up another like 2 to 3 more books on Kindle Unlimited. And we're just going to see what I decide to come up with. Maybe I'll read some romance. Maybe I'll read some sci-fi, but for sure we're going to get through those. And I'm going to do my best to get through Dracula, Frankenstein, for sure. Finishing up the Goddesses book. I will go ahead and get started reading through the Dark 30 and maybe read a couple of essays from the Monster Theory. And whenever I get done, I will share with all of you. So let me know what you're reading for October. Let me know if you're like, oh, here's my fall TBR. These are all the things I'm going to be looking at, or like good fall recommendations. I do have quite a few books that I love. Garlic and the Vampire is the first one. Garlic and the Witch is the second one. This is the sequel, and this is the one where they get turned back into humans, and it's just super cute. So if you're looking for something very fun, this is a good one. And then, of course, I always will recommend my Howl's Moving Castle, because Howl's Moving Castle is about a witch. Howl is a witch. Sophie is a witch. Kiki's Delivery Service. Kiki is a witch. Those are all good ones. And then one of my favorites, let me see if I can pull it out without jacking up my system, is Witches, the complete collection, story and art by Daisuke Igarashi, maybe? I'm obsessed with this artist. I'm obsessed with his work, with the art that he's done. I have the complete collection of Children of the Sea, which was adapted into a movie, the best movie I've ever seen. Now I will officially be done and say, that's going to be it for my October TBR and some recommendations that are kind of fun, kind of light, not super scary. So I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful October. I'll be back and I'll talk to you about the videos. Oh, I'm going to make it one about the movies. I don't know if I'm going to do movies I'm wanting to watch, but I'm definitely going to do at the end of the month, going into November, the movies that I did watch in October, because I have some fun ones on the list and I'm excited to talk about them. So I will see you all later. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you're reading. Bye.